massive protests this spring signaled a kind of reawakening for the descendants of Palestinians who resisted efforts to violently force them out in 1948.
Inside Israel, we are Palestinians too. They tried all their best to tear us from our people and our nationality and our identity. They failed.
Suspects were detained in Musa's killing, but released shortly after. Marwa says it's a testament to the ways Palestinians are treated differently by the justice system.
أكيد روحته على الدار لأنه هو يهودي واللي مات عربي. فلو كان العكس القاتل هو عربي واللي انقتل يهودي فأكيد ما كانوش راح يروحوه.
Palestinians with Israeli citizenship face dozens of discriminatory laws that limit economic opportunity, restrict their movements, and deny them access to their land. And they live in a climate of pervasive fear and punishment.
حبيبتي ما نتفرج.
Musa's great-uncle, Ramadan, survived the Nakba, or catastrophe. That's when over 750,000 Palestinians were violently forced out of their homes.
A new Jewish state is born in the tense atmosphere of civil war.
أنا لما قامت الدولة سنة 48 ب 11/7 بقى عمري 16 سنة ونص.
In Lid, more than 200 men, women, and children were murdered as they sought refuge in the Dahmesh mosque. Ramadan recounts what happened afterward. 50,000 people in the city became refugees overnight. Historical accounts called it a death march. What are Americans doing at a scene like this from occupied East Jerusalem? In exclusive footage obtained by AJ Plus, you're watching a group of Americans build a fence outside one Palestinian family's home in Sheikh Jarrah.
Smile.
And they were hired to do it by the founder of a US registered charity.
Where are you from? Why are you doing this? Understand what you are doing.
In the last decade, US charities have funneled millions of dollars to settler groups, and these donations are tax deductible, meaning Americans are effectively subsidizing settlement activity, which is considered illegal under international law. Now, Palestinians are appealing to people in the US to stop funding their oppression.
God restored Israel back physically to their land, but now he has to restore them spiritually also. And so God not only brought the Jews back to their land, but he sustains them in the land. But as a Gentile, you cannot be the fig tree because that is the national privilege of Israel. But as a Gentile, you cannot be the fig tree because that is the national privilege of Israel. But as a Gentile, you cannot be the fig tree because that is the national.
All the praises and the honor goes to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Recha Ha Quadash, and double honors to the elder apostles and even the elder bishops of Great Millstone. Honors as well to you other brethren, you fellow believers and followers of this faith. Also shalom to you few sisters as well, you sincere ones. And shalom to the hopefully elect, shalom to the elect. I don't know exactly where or how this video is going to come along, but I'll just go through the spirit because there's so many dynamics when you're dealing with these type of situations that you can't fully speak on, especially when we're dealing with the wicked, right? You know, and the enemy of our enemy, so to speak. So when you really look at the whole scenario, you look at even the Christian church, they're just blinded. And I'm talking about your regular ongoing Christians, okay, in the communities. They're just going into church. They're seeing what the media has put out in front of them, and they believe all the negativity that happens to them, right, and not anyone else, just as these same people who support, you know, all this madness has happened to our own people, and we're the one people that would say, forget about it. It's time to move on. But 9/11, nobody forgets that. They even make a holiday for that. So this is shameful for the Christians. These people who are going over there and setting up these fences and these barriers, they are Christian, non-charitable Christian ministries, a lot of them. I'm not going to say that 100%, but most of them are set up under the Christian authority, because you have our people who believe, and I'm talking about our people, so-called blacks, natives, who believe those are the people of God, even though you heard this man say it was a barren land, which it wasn't. You had the Palestinians there, but they said it was a barren land until they got back the land. But they wasn't called that before they got into that land. So that's kind of crazy. So who determined that they were the ones of that land when there were people already in that land? And dealing with Bible prophecy, the people that belong in that land are not just amongst them, right, but are scattered throughout the globe. Deuteronomy 28:64 pulls that up, right? So, of course, I'm going to read a few scriptures. We're going to go into a couple of definitions of some words. And I want to look at this real quick. It's called conflict in the Holy Land. That's what it's called. But let's go to Deuteronomy 30:7 real quick. It says, "And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee." So, as in the parable of Lazarus, you had all these other nations who were joined under them, right, to infect the wounds of our persecution, man, continually. But now, we had some Palestinian lady come by our camp Saturday, and she was chanting, "Free the Palestinians." And I chanted back, "Free the Jake, free the Israelites, the true Israelites, the so-called blacks and natives," which we don't want them to free us. But just to make the point, right, it's all good when all this oppression, the water holes and the dogs, right, the rape, robbery, and murder, and the destruction of taking the families out of the home, then you looked on TV, all them heathens looked on television and said, "Look at them," right? They're the worst people on the planet. Now look what the Lord has done. Now he got them in ruins. They're carrying baseball bats and sticks and knives, although they stick together, which proves we're under the curses, right? So now you see the flip side of it, right? And this makes sense why Georgie Soros would have funded that Black Lives Matter for a particular time and had other people march along with it, because there was a bigger plan ahead. Like, say, hey, we supported you, now it's time for you to support us. I don't know. But we see them, even in their own land, head wraps, jeans on. So you can clearly see all nations have drank the wrath of Babylon. And we know what Babylon is. And Edom. Right? Let's go to Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, and then I'll get the article. Let's go to the 4th verse. "Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith." Right? "Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is death, and cannot be satisfied." So now I remember it was something called Dashmad Mosque, when they kicked out 750,000. Well, look what they did to the so-called blacks, man, and the natives. They took the Negroes from Spain, from West Africa to Spain, from Spain, also from Spain, which was there, some of us was there as well, and carried them all the way across the islands and the coast of the sea and all the waters. The worst atrocity ever implemented on the planet, right? And then these people, when things happen to them, we're supposed to side with them in their struggles, right? Because it goes back to the concept, when your oppressor is oppressed, that you become their oppressor as well. You become part of the oppression. But that's why we separate ourselves and separate ourselves from their oppression. And then we shouldn't even be getting involved in fighting them. It's not our war. It's not our fight. Right? Meanwhile, they're fighting to get back a land that don't belong to them. Right? You got two people fighting over a land that technically don't belong to them, except there's some mingled amongst them. You were kicked out, put over here on ships, and made to serve slavery. We can't do nothing till the Lord returns, man. That's our mindset. Anyway, you Christians, I think I'll title it this. You Christians, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. But as I said, you don't know no better. Conflicts in the Holy Land, right? Donation amount 50, 75, 100, 250, 500, 1,000. Now, I guarantee you these people are not really studying or reading or paying attention to what's going on. Nor do they care about history and how that land became the way it become. They don't want to hear about that either, nor do they want to understand that. All they want to do is, when you look at, this is called the Catholic charities, these popes, all their job is to control the media through their, through religion. And so most of these churches are taught a certain way. The Vocabularites, all of them, they all taught that these are the people of God. Now, what's really trippy, so to speak, is that when it comes to us and we show you according to the Bible that it's according to the flesh, these Christians will say, no, everybody can be a spiritual Israelite, except when it comes to them. Now, they are the real ones through the flesh. But when it comes to us, it's not through the flesh. But anyway, your help is urgently needed for families affected by violence in the Holy Land. Right. Again, there's a lot I can't say about this Holy Land or, what's actually happening there. A lot of you in the know already know what the deal is. The word holy means set apart, by the way. Now, First Chronicles, I believe the 17th chapter says, when the Lord's people get in their land, the children of wickedness will not waste them anymore. Right? So now they go on here. Pope Francis, here we go. Pope Francis has called on people worldwide to pray that there be peace in the land. Now, you know what that's equated to? That's equated to somebody stealing your house, your car, your property. Okay? Just stole it right from under you. They allow you to live on it, even though they stole it from you. And then you fight back to get your land and property back. But then you pray for the people who did all the destroying, who did all the destruction. Can't make this up, but this is what media does when people don't read. Anyway, let no man deceive you, 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. The son of perdition. So the first word we're going to look up, and this is interesting. I'm sure maybe brothers have looked this up before. This word revealed goes back to what? I remember hearing a movie called this.
Strong's G601, apocalypto. Apocalypto.
And it actually says apocalypto, however you want to pronounce it. Right? And it means to uncover, to lay open what has been veiled or covered up. This reminds me of Isaiah 47 and 1. Uncover the thighs, uncover, lift up that skirt, disclose, make bare, to make known, make manifest, disclose, and disclose what before was unknown, right? And that's why we're here. We're disclosing what was unknown to a lot. And then there's some other people and other sources who's bringing it to light, and we're catching on. We're reading and we're getting understanding as well, because it's all for the elect. Another word is G575, G2572, to take off, the cover, to reveal. Okay. Now that perdition goes back to destroying, utter destruction, a perishing ruin of destruction. The destruction would consist of eternal misery in hell. So you leave it up to this man. There will be no flesh to be saved, as Yahweh Shah said. There will be no flesh to be saved if the Lord doesn't come back and deliver us, right? The earth will be totally destroyed, as it pretty much is now, right? But the Lord is not going to allow it to be fully destroyed, right? This earth is a magnificent vessel, so to speak, machine that is made by the Heavenly Father, through the Spirit of the Heavenly Father, set up to have this created, right? And it has a lot of beautiful things in it, and it's hard to fully destroy it, even though this man is trying to do it with his chemicals, trails, GMOs, pollution, right? Radiation, and the list goes on. I mean, we can list tons and tons of things, chemicals, and family, religion. It's totally destroyed, man. It's totally destroyed. This is Job 20 and 20. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly, because this is his whole enterprise is the NWO. He shall not save that which he desire. See, right now, they sit with Satan in their seat, and Satan has to tell them what to do and how's it going to go. But what they don't understand is Satan is controlled by the Heavenly Father. So the trick is on them, right? There shall none of his meat be left, therefore shall no man look for his goods. In the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits, trouble. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. And this is what you're starting to see. I mean, this is going to happen, but this is a trace of what's to come, right? Even Jake, when Jake wakes up, that's going to be it. So you got a lot of Israelites teach that Jacob should be like a roaring lion and off to the prey. Well, guess what? There's a certain amount of men that's set up to do that. His elect is set up to push this word. That's it. Until that spiritual power come. When he's about to fill his belly, Yahweh shall put the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain upon him while he's eating. And that's why the missiles will be the start of the cleanup and the usher in of the real NWO. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. Right? So I just wanted to touch on that. Again, I can't say much on it, but to sum it up, you could clearly see that all these Christians, they're in support. They link religion and belief in the Bible with the Holy Land. But they don't even believe in the full Bible, number one. And because they go over there and try to so-called make this a prophecy to try to convert them, now that they don't want them there and they keep kicking them out, the one you call Jesus says, I'm just like Samaria. He said, don't go back into Samaria. He said, if they don't receive you, don't go back there. Wipe off the dust of your feet. So now you Christians that went over and tried to wake them up, you're in the catch-22. You claim you're fulfilling prophecy, but you're not supposed to be there because they don't want you. Right? And you're in support of all the wickedness that's going on in the earth. So you can see all you Christians are supportive of all wickedness, man. You know? You just don't know what you're doing. You don't do no research, nor do you care. All because you want them to be the people of God. That's all I have on that. Shalom.